Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Playing World of Tanks. I'm AJ, and today we'll be looking at the game that I had in my FV4202, which is the British Tier 10 medium tank. Now this is a very good map for this tank. This tank kind of excels at playing on bridges because it has very high power to weight ratio, so it can go up and down a hill relatively fast and shoot its enemies and get back into cover without them being able to retaliate. Now on this map, most of the action happens in the north, in this corner, and so I take all my tanks there regardless of whether they're good at playing that corner or not, just because if you win that corner, it is very easy to win the game. If you don't, then you basically 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose the game. Now as I come up here, I paused in the middle for a second to see if the scout lit something and I might be able to take a shot. Seeing that he didn't light anything, I'm now here on the corner where I want to be. Now I poke around the corner to see if there's an enemy tank doing the same, and maybe I can get a shot into him, but there isn't. Unfortunately for me, the T-62A was rather farther back and I did not have a good line of sight to him, so maybe he made it there just as I made it here but wasn't here. Sorry for the zooming out. It's a graphical hitch in the new replay system. It's not something that I can actually control. Now I see the E100 crossing on the open in front of me, and I'm gonna try to show as little of my tank as possible and put a shot into him. Now I'm trying to hug this ridge to my right to the best of my ability, just because I know there's an RD on the enemy team and he'll be waiting to shoot at me. Now I come out here, try to save the poor 183, but unfortunately they were just like gung-ho and trying to kill him, and my tank is just too small to cover anything. Now the E100 comes out sideways. I aim for his front axle and track him, and I'm hoping that the RD nails him, and RD does. Now I see the IS-7 also making his way across rather slowly. I try to come out here, but I see that the E100 is still facing in my direction, so I don't want to take a shot from him, and so I back off. Now this E100 just snapshots my turret, it pens, and does 723 damage. I don't know, RNG gives you some shots, and RNG takes away some of your shots as well, so can't really complain, I suppose. But that is 700 health that I could have used. But if you see further in the game, I don't really take any other bit of damage apart from that. Now since the FV4202 doesn't have any gold rounds, I was trying to aim for his little bar that's on top of his tank, and hopefully hit him there. Now the E100, the other one, comes out sideways again. I put another shot into him, but this time I failed to track him. Now the E100 fires at the STA, but unfortunately for him, he just hits his gun and does no damage. Now I back off and I'm trying to figure out what to do in this situation. I know like the enemy tanks have pushed around the corner and there's a big melee going on, and I want to be a part of it, but I really can't, just because there's a T-57 and T-62A to my right. So I'm just gonna wait here and bide my time until nothing presents itself. I don't want to like instigate any actions right now because the game is relatively close, and I don't want to throw away a tier 10 medium when I don't have any good options. So I'm just gonna wait here and see what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna come out here and make sure that that nobody else crosses into that corner without paying a hefty price for it. Now I see this KB4 thinking about it, and I again try to aim for the little bar on top of the E100, but this gun isn't known for its accuracy. Now the KB4 just decides to go get into the open. I put one shot into him, I back off. The FV turret is not the best. FV is kind of like the E50M in that regard, that its turret is pretty weak, so that is the thing that you should be careful about. Now I take out the E100 before because he presented himself and he's a bigger target than the KB4, and so I come up here, and now this E100 is just flat out YOLOing into our team. You know, I just come up whenever I'm reloaded and, you know, put shots into him. Now I look to my right to make sure that, you know, the T62A or the T57 aren't there, and then I put another shot into the E100. The E100 at that point just kind of like threw his tank away. I don't know what he was trying to do. Now I see that the T57 and you know, has kind of gone back. Now I see this as the perfect opportunity to push. I see all of a sudden that, you know, the T62A has also gone back. So, you know, instead of like hanging around where it was, I'm just gonna come up here and put one shot in the T57 and take him out. Now at this point, I'm not interested in taking out the T62A just because he's in the open, you know, and he's not that big of a threat right now. And I'd rather clean up this flank and, you know, have our team sort of like push into their the enemy base, and, you know, he eventually gets taken out, you know, anyway. Now load HE round, which have higher penetration than regular HE rounds on most tanks, and, you know, I put one into the RHM, but you know, before I can reload again, he gets taken out. Now I know there is an ISU spotted right in front of me. Instead of like going head to head, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and go around him. Now I was thinking in my mind that, you know, the ISU should be smart enough to know what is coming in front of him, and he might be able to put one shot into whatever it is coming and then maybe able to retreat, but I was wrong. By the time I get around him, you know, he is already taken out. So, you know, all that thinking that went into like trying to flank a Tier A tank destroyer came to no avail. So over here, as I'm coming up, I spot the GW Tiger on the hill. I load a Hesh round for him, but unfortunately it doesn't pin, but it still manages to do 200 damage. Before I can fire a second round, you know, he sort of disappears on me. Now I should have loaded Hesh again for this tank right here, but unfortunately, you know, I was like, you know, I had reloaded an APCR round so it can travel faster to the GW Tiger, but, you know, as luck would have it, he climbed back into cover just quick enough. Now I'm gonna go through I'm gonna pretend I'm gonna go around the way that the T92 expects, and then I'm just gonna switch, you know, when I think I'm not spotted, and go through the city. You know, the T92 is aiming the other way. I fire on the move and take him out. Now at this point, loading an Hesh round or, you know, loading an APCR round doesn't really matter. The GW Tiger doesn't really have that much health to give, and, you know, I'm just gonna push into him and take him out on the move. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and subscribe. Sorry for the lack of content, you know, being New Year's, sorry, not New Year's, Christmas and everything. Hopefully we'll be back on regular schedule.